Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the Student Filmmaker Podcast. We're building a home on social media for student filmmakers and giving a voice to student filmmakers through our podcast episodes. Our second guest is Woody Tuttle. He's directed and written 3 of his own films and has been an incredible part of our film community here at Chico State University. Hi, Woody.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's been so awesome having you on set, even just like before we started rolling.
Oh my God, I really appreciate that.
I'm
having fun. This is a really cool house.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah.
The Enlow Mansion is awesome. It's actually great that you bring that up because every time we get into the episode at some point in the episode, we say thank you to the owners of the Enlow Mansion.
Yeah.
So can you say thank you to Dustin and Anna?
Thank you, Dustin, and thank you, Anna.
Thank
it's a really
you.
cool house. I love the cat painting up here. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's Cashmere.
Oh, Cashmere?
I actually don't know Cashmere's origin story yet, but it's going to come out on the Instagram.
It's very grand.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. Cashmere is incredible.
Yeah, I love the name Cashmere.
And the actual cats that are roaming around the house at
Yeah.
summer.
Boris.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, Woody. I wanted to ask you about Darkroom. Mm-hmm. It's coming out, which is super impressive.
Yeah.
And it was. Didn't you guys want to start it as a feature film?
So, no, Keaton and I, my roommate, who also does a lot of movies with me, shout out Keaton, but he and I we have been roommates for 3 years, and at the beginning of that, 3 years ago, we were like, oh, we should make something really tiny for October, and now it's years later, and it's edited, and we're making the score and the soundtrack and all the sound stuff, but so it's coming out really soon, a couple months, but yeah, it was supposed to be really tiny.
And it turned out to be a 2-year-long project.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 20-page script.
Okay, 20 pages.
It was the first thing that I had ever written. I wrote the first 5 drafts by myself, and then we had this guy Bobby Brothers come in, and he helped me write the other 5 drafts. So it's written by Woody Tuttle and Bobby Brothers.
Aw, cool, dude. I didn't know Bobby was a writer on that one.
Dude, Bobby did a lot.
Okay.
He really helped me because it's your first script. It's gonna be weird, and you're just gonna have you really just got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. That's such a huge thing with student filmmakers. I hear a lot of stories. We're not like this, our community isn't, because we get out there and we actually fucking do it, which I love. But I hear these stories from other student filmmakers where they're just sitting in classes rather than making movies outside of their projects. And so I'm like, dude, you just gotta write it. You can't just talk about it in a lecture.
Seriously. I mean, getting from an idea in your head to a script is so kind of daunting, and it's kind of it's a little embarrassing because it's a little piece of your brain that's out, and everyone is gonna look at it and be like, it's your first script, so they're gonna be like, this doesn't make any sense, why? And you're in your head, you're like, no, it's wicked, it's awesome, it's cool,
but it's so cool. You gotta see the vision.
Yeah, no, but once you have that first draft, then I always think of it as when you're carving a Greek statue, you start off with just a cube of marble.
Okay.
The first draft is just getting rid of all the edges, and it's just a weird polygon amorphous thing, but it's just a little closer to what you're going for, and you just keep going. And I mean, it took 10 drafts to get Darkroom where it is,
Okay.
And I think all my projects 5 drafts at the minimum.
Holy shit! I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I go through it a lot. I it's great to have Keaton because I'll be like, yo, here's my latest draft, and then he'll be like, this is what I think, and I'm like, oh, whatever, and then the next day I'm like, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a part of the creative process because I'm a producer.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that feeling is to have someone look at a piece of my soul basically.
Yeah.
And be like, mid.
Yeah, exactly. It's because everyone wants to make something really amazing, and they want to write something that's really, really good and
yes.
is engaging and stuff, and the truth is that when you start out, you're not.
You're just not there yet.
You're not there yet.
Personally, I have loved your scripts. I've read your scripts. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk a lot at parties about your new film ideas, and I actually love your film ideas. I think they're very interesting. I want to get back to Darkroom. Yeah. So, Darkroom, can you tell me the log line for your story?
Okay, so it's about a really mentally ill photographer who lives in this weird attic dark room. Mm-hmm. and he doesn't interact with a lot of people, and he finds a corpse in Upper Bidwell Park, and he takes some pictures of it, and the news prints it in a story, and then he gets a letter in the mail from the guy who killed him being like, I really like your pictures. I killed some other people. Go take more pictures. And he's like, oh, do I be the serial killer's photographer? Yes.
Did he offer to pay him?
No, the news station is paying him.
Oh, I
so
see.
like he's getting all this exposure as an artist, and this serial killer is getting an artist to document his art in a way.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
A little Zodiac.
Oh. Wait, did you guys make a Zodiac like flyer thing like for the letter?
Yeah. We made letters. Like I read the Zodiac letters, and like the thing about the Zodiac killer is like he's kind of the smartest stupid guy ever.
Okay.
Where like he's really smart in the sense of like he got away with all of it. But like if you read his letters, it's like childish. It's like, I like killing. Killing is the best thing ever. I kill humans because they are the best sport. It's like,
what the fuck?
It's very on the nose, but it's like, but he hid it behind this like big cipher.
Oh.
So like
I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
so like the letters are just like weird. Like,
so you do research?
Yeah, I love to
writing?
do research. I'm actually an anthropology major, not a film major. And a lot. Well, that's the other thing is
We've talked about this.
Yeah, I don't want to, as we said earlier, like sitting in a classroom just talking about making films. Like I'm learning so much more just by doing it.
Literally.
Like with Darkroom, it's taken so long, because like
some shit.
I mean, like me, Keaton, and Kevin, the guy who's editing it, we all, our first time running a project this big, and we all like, all of us, I'm not shifting anybody. This is, but we learned a lot of lessons. We made 2 other movies in the production of Darkroom.
Yeah.
So it goes to show we learned about post-production and staying on top of it.
You did. Yeah. What was the biggest part of what made it take years?
Really, I mean, it would just be like we would just kind of coast on it. I would coast on it where like I'd be like, all right, sweet, we just filmed all that stuff. I'm going to LA to like hang out with my family, and then Keaton would come down too, and then just like nobody was texting each other, and then just like it'd be like 2 weeks went by, and then we're checking in, and then just like it was mainly just procrastination and just kind of like not dialing in and having a set schedule, because like we filmed. And it was like go because there were so many people to manage.
Yeah, production makes sense.
But post production, it's kind of like weird, and you're just sitting on all this stuff, and you just have to like assemble it. So like, I think that's what took so long.
Post production is tough, and is not something. Coordinating post production is not something that is taught like to any of us, and it's really tough because we don't have money to pay our editors, so it's not like we can like hold them to a deadline.
No, seriously. Yeah, that's the other thing is like my dad always says, he's like, you either have time or money.
Yeah, literally.
And I'm like 2 years in the darkroom. I'm like, yeah, no money. Yeah. If we had some money, it would have been done a long time ago.
Yeah, literally. Even if you had just like $100 to pay Kevin
seriously.
to be like, bro, you need to get this done in like 2 months, then he'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But instead, you guys are just like, oh, we're friends. Like, he'll do it whenever he does.
Yeah, exactly. It was just really friendly, and like nobody wants to be like the boss of their friends in a way. Literally. You know what I mean? But in filmmaking, that's what you kind of got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing I wanted to talk to you about. So there was the dude who directed Alien. I think it was the second Alien or the third.
The first one was Ridley Scott, and then it was James Cameron. I'm pretty sure.
The second one? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was James Cameron, the action one.
Okay.
With the big alien queen.
I don't know which one it was. One of the directors of Alien talked about how the movie had performed worse than they expected it to, and that he was basically talking about how the crew would like come up to him and give them all of their ideas about what the film should look like, even though he's the director. And I have seen this happen on your sets where people walk up to you and give you an idea of your vision. Yeah. But the director talked about how when the shit hit the fan and the film didn't perform well, all of those people scattered when it didn't perform well. But when they were on set and they wanted their voices to be heard and to get their vision in, everyone was like, yeah, like, listen to me, like, it should be a team effort. But when the shit hit the fan and he was the one who, like, got, like, fucking railed and his reputation went down because of it, everyone else didn't have to suffer that. Yeah. So how has that been, like, how have you handled that? I've seen you go through that, too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants it to be good. They're all there, especially if they're there for free. They're there because they are investing in your idea and they do want to be a part of it and they want it to be good. And like, I mean, the biggest thing with directing that you want to keep in mind is like, you want to be like, I have a vision and it's happening. And like, you may not understand it, but like, you need to trust in me. Like, that's the biggest thing. Cause as soon as there's a little bit of mistrust, then it's like, like, what about this? What about that? Because they're like, it's going down like a road that I don't think is good for the movie. So I need to step in and kind of save it. And honestly, like, it comes from them wanting it to be good and them invested in it and stuff. But like, sometimes you got to just be like,
bruh.
yeah, this is like, no, I've got the vision and everything. Like,
I got this, guys. Like,
yeah, I mean, in Darkroom, one of the biggest things that I think made me learn to really stand my ground was, we were in the darkroom set building it, and someone came in and was like, oh, well, he loves taking pictures of plants in the park, so he should have plants in his darkroom. And we were like, yeah, sure, dude, that sounds epic. Yeah, can you get plants? And he's like, yeah, totally. And we're like, wicked. And then we put all these plants in the darkroom, and then we put a plant on his desk. And then, like, in the first couple of days of shooting in the darkroom, we're kind of improvising a thing for a montage sequence, and he smashes the plant on his desk. And we didn't realize it until literally we had done all the filming and we were looking at it. We're like, why is there a plant on his desk? We're like, wait. And it's out of order. There's just this plant on his desk. We seriously were like, are we going to have to like CG in a plant for like some of these scenes? We're like, because like some shots, we had to throw away a lot of shots because we're like, this is good, but the
fucking plant, bro.
It's not there. The plant's not there. You know? So like... And also, it doesn't make sense because it's a dark room, no lights in there. Like, all the plants are dead, and I'm like, yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah,
it kind of adds to the character, though. It's like, what's up with this guy?
Why does he have a bunch of dead plants in his dark room?
Well, I mean, they're dead because there's no light or anything, but like... Yeah, exactly. It's like, why are there plants in a dark room? But
so yeah, like, there are just so many little decisions, and like,
so like sometimes
that's the director's job.
I mean, like, it makes sense. It's like, oh, he does take pictures of plants. You know, we have access to plants, but sometimes it's like, no, because like sometimes you don't even realize what in post production it's gonna be like. Why did we do that? That doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
You know,
dude. Thank you. That brings me into my next point. Is like. One thing that we're definitely not taught either is like what ends up in the fucking editing room.
Yeah.
Like what actually makes the final cut. It's not the stuff that you often think of as a first-time director when you're like shooting stuff and you're like, oh, I could get this like 2-minute sequence of this train going by.
Yeah.
And then you get to the editing room and you're like, no, that's going to be 2 seconds at most.
Yeah, seriously. And like, I think I thrive the best in production because I like plotting stuff out and scheming and building shit. And then once we get to post production, it's really, really weird because like it feels like the epilogue of it where like, you know, it's like, oh, we're gonna do this thing, and then, you know, we're filming it, and then after it's just like, all right, well, we're in a computer program now.
We're sitting in a room in front of like a monitor, just like talking about the smallest changes to different scenes.
Yeah, literally. And like I realized through Darkroom that I don't really have a lot of editing instincts.
Yes.
Because like we'd get a cut of a scene together and I'm like, that's dope. And then Keaton would be like, what about this? And then he'd do it and I'm like, oh, that's dope. But I kind of would have no commentary other than just like, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. And then,
you know? And I think it's
also change something and you also like
that. And I'm like, oh, that's better.
I love that. I wonder if that's the same thing that happens with like Martin Scorsese.
I mean,
does he sit in an editing room?
He said that if you don't feel like you're gonna puke when you see your first cut, then you're not making it right.
Oh, okay.
So like,
did you feel that way on Darkroom?
Oh, there was a period where I hated it. Aww. Like honestly, you know. But now I love it. I think it's really great. But
and it's
like,
coming out.
It's coming out, yeah. But like, no, there was a good couple of months where like. We just didn't know where we were going with the edit, and it had taken so long. It just kind of was like, yeah, I like hated it.
I absolutely hated it.
Like in a primal way. But
oh wow. Okay.
But now it's like, no, but now it works. You know what I mean? And I really love it. And I'm like, oh my God, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, it works now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick. Like you take a break from it and you come back and you can just like, you kind of like it again.
And like, or we just took it in a different direction. And like, I thought it was going to be one way. And then watching the movie, I'm like, no, I'm like, it's like really weird and like kind of Lynchian.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Where like, it's just weird. Like the main character is weird, and he just is like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know the plot twist. Our viewers don't know the plot twist, but that means you just need to go and watch it.
Yeah, exactly. You should. But,
where are they going to be able to watch it?
It's going to be posted on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, on the Greenhouse Films YouTube.
Yay.
Yeah, I'll post a link on my Instagram and stuff.
You have your own studio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Greenhouse Films. It's me and Keaton Murray. We just like making stuff together.
You've made 3 so far.
Yeah, we made 3, and Keaton's working on something right now.
Yes.
Which I'm gonna be a producer on because I threw $100 at it.
Let's go.
That's how much it costs for a producer credit.
$100.
100 bones. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that a lot.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna be the art director for that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, you're working with Tiffany Abrams on a couch that eats people, right?
Yeah, that's Keaton's project.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, the couch.
I think that's badass.
Yeah, hyped about it. We just picked up the couch yesterday.
Heck yeah.
And we it's moving a couch, so.
Oh, there's so many unglamorous parts to filmmaking.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely believe this is the coolest profession to be a part of in the world. Like, of everything, other than being, like, an ultra-wealthy person who doesn't have to work or just is, like, a professional tennis player or something. Being working on film sets is sick.
Yeah.
But there are so many unglamorous parts that you got to get through. Like, whenever I have a gaffer that needs to pick up equipment, I'm like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, seriously.
I wish that I could make that easier on you, but it just kind of, like, has to happen. Like, the gear has to get there somehow.
Yeah, seriously. No, like one time we were on Darkroom, and it was just kind of chaos. Everyone was doing stuff. We were setting up at this newsroom at Action News Now.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
Our gaffer.
Yeah, that was us.
I've heard legends of you guys.
Oh my God, that we fucking put a bunch of oysters in the meeting room.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, Keaton was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if like the noir newsroom person, instead of smoking cigarettes, because we can't do it, what if she was eating oysters?
She's eating oysters.
So there's just this big pile of oysters. That was us. That's... I can only... We deserve it.
We deserve the legends.
We deserve the legends. No, because we definitely... we deserved it. But...
Yeah.
But yeah, it was chaos. We were all doing stuff, and then somehow, like, it was like, we need sandbags, and there's no sand, so someone sent me... Keaton gave me his car, and I drove to the Sacramento River to get sand.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the writer-director there at the Sacramento River. I'm, like, shoveling sand into sandbags. Although I misheard his directions. I couldn't find it. I'm calling him. I'm like, I don't see any sand.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, just come back.
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, no,
dude.
there's a lot you got to do. I mean,
There
like,
is.
really,
to
like,
make shit happen too.
Yeah, filmmaking is just like forcefully dragging it into
Literally.
reality.
Yes, having a producer, that's why having a producer is so important, because your producer is literally the champion of the project. Like, they're the ones that are going to be like, no, we're actually going to do it. Oh, you're tired. Oh, you're sick. Oh, you don't have enough money. Doesn't matter. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, the producer is usually the one that takes on that responsibility of like, okay, I'm a producer of this. This is my reputation. I'm going to make this happen. Like, we got to do it.
Yeah.
I love supporting my directors in that way.
Yeah.
What's it been like having a producer-director relationship with your best friend?
And roommate. I feel
roommate.
like we should hate each other, but the fact that we don't is pretty amazing.
Yay.
You know, just because there's a lot going on at the same time where, like, you know, we're talking about like, you know, oh, how are we gonna do this and that? Okay, cool. Can you do the dishes that are in the sink, dude? You know, like it's all kind of merged into one. But like, no, Keaton and I have a really great working relationship. Like,
And your best friend.
Yeah, we are best friends. We're very different in our kind of styles. Like, I'm really into the like really weird, kind of horror-y, but like kind of funny stuff. And Keaton's like really into like new wave, kind of Wes Anderson-y, kind of like really cool. You
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Cool.
that kind of, he loves his new wave. I don't, controversially. But But it's good because of that, like, you know, he just wrote this movie, The Couch, which is like a spoof on 80s horror.
So
and
cool.
I my entire high school I was like watching like 80s
it.
horror and stuff like that. So like he would give it to me and I'm like, here's what's up, dude. I'm like this and this, you know.
I know this.
But like it's good because then like with other movies like with Slasher Pro and stuff, like giving it to him, it's more like, because like I was just so in like 80s horror and like he can give me a different opinion, and like it's good to hear from another person like what you got going on. And Keaton and I really trust each other, and that like what we're saying is genuine like constructive criticism and not like a
jab.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I'm happy that you have that relationship. I genuinely believe that you and Keaton, if you continue to be partners the way that you are, you guys will like make something really big in the future.
Thank you.
And just so you know, I've seen your writing, I've worked with you, and I know you as a person, and I genuinely believe that you're going to make something incredible with your career, like something that like really impacts people and could like gain a cult following.
Oh my God, thank you.
I got you, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm after, is like the cult following kind of stuff.
The Donnie Darko like crew,
Yeah, or
dude.
like honestly,
Yes.
I just watched it yesterday, like Being John Malkovich.
Literally. Oh,
Yeah.
Those films are just so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like so random and new.
Like Being John Malkovich, like it's amazing how all that weird stuff can be put in there. Like how there's like a chimpanzee with childhood trauma and how he gets an arc.
What?
Where like he saw his parents tied up and then he unties Cameron Diaz and like
yes.
he like actually overcomes the like trauma that was set up earlier.
Yes.
That you think it's just a joke because she's like, oh, he's got a stomach ulcer because of unresolved trauma, and you're like, haha, that's funny, and then you're like, oh my God, Elijah.
Or like Burn After Reading. Or
Yeah.
There's just so many. I don't have any new examples. I always want to tell people about this. I guess
Yeah.
Whiplash is a newer one.
Yeah.
But it was also in 2014, so it's like, what is the next thing? Like, I
Yeah.
want to know what the next thing is, and I want to be a part of it.
Yeah. I think like I don't know, the
Really
the last year that like I feel like banger movies came out for me was like 2019. Specifically, it was like Midsommar, The
Yes.
Lighthouse, and Parasite.
Oh, Parasite came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Parasite was sick.
Dude, Parasite's amazing, dude. Koreans make great movies.
They do make great movies.
Yeah, dude, they're
also
so
great
good at
Korean dramas.
Yeah.
안녕하세요.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. If we have any Korean fans, your movies are sick. You guys have a totally different like culture of filmmaking that I would love to be a part of.
Yeah, and shout out to the history of the North Korean film industry because it's insane.
He kidnapped a woman. For those
Yeah.
of you who don't know, one of the leaders of North Korea, kidnapped.
Yeah, Kim Jong-il, the daddy of Kim Jong-un. He kidnapped Shin Se-ok and Choi Yun-hee, who they were South Korean. It was a director husband and an actress wife. And they were like, hey, Choi Yun-hee, do you want to, we're an American studio in Hong Kong. You want to come and do an interview for a movie? And she's like, wicked, goes missing. Shin Se-ok is like, oh, I got to go save my wife. So then he goes looking. He gets kidnapped too, meet up in North Korea, and Kim Jong-il, literally, this is like real history. He's like, hey guys, I want you to make movies for me. And like they did for like 8 years. Choi Yun-hee won Best Actress at the Moscow International Film Festival, and there's like pictures of her accepting the award with like guards behind her. And like so there's this movie Pulgasari, and it's a Godzilla-esque movie that tells the story of the Korean Revolution, where there's a monster that gets bigger as he eats iron, and he gets so big that he smashes the evil imperial Korean landlord's palace.
Oh my god!
But and it's obviously like, oh, that's Kim Il Sung, the grandpa of Kim Jong Un. Because they're like they're a monarchy.
Yes.
I don't know if that's controversial to say. Maybe if in North Korea.
I don't know. But I think it's insane that North Korea used film and basically made their own little Hollywood because of how obsessed with films their leader was.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, he used it to build culture in their country.
Yeah, Kim Jong-il wrote a book called The Art of Cinema, and I read a little bit of it. There's such great wisdoms in there, like actors are the face of films.
Yes.
You need good writing to make a good movie.
Yeah.
And it's very, like, every film should have a communist revolution within it, you know, where, like, they should be for the revolution. And it's the only country I think that has a movie character on their currency, because on the one North Korean won banknote is the Flower Girl, which is like from the Flower Girl's like North Korea's Citizen Kane.
Dude, you are a film buff. You are so deeply ingrained into film as an idea. Oh my gosh.
And like dude, I love the kung fu, wuxia, magic kung fu movies from like Hong Kong.
Oh, those ones?
Yeah.
I was thinking I had like there was like an American shitty version with like this one dude. Gosh, I don't even remember. I'll have to like find it and show you.
Yeah.
Because I think you would like it, honestly. It's like really bad. You know when like, you know Ghost in the Shell? Where it's like all Asian people. It's an Asian made movie.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember specifically. Was it Japanese?
Yeah, it was Japanese.
It was Japanese?
Yeah.
So it was all these Japanese people or Asian presenting people, and then the main character is just like a white woman.
Yeah, it's Scarlett Johansson.
Love ScarJo, but
yeah,
what
seriously.
the fuck was going on?
Yeah, seriously.
Why was the main character like an American presenting woman, or like I don't know what Scarlett Johansson's ethnicity is, but I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, apparently they're thinking about doing a live action Akira, and I'm like, don't.
Please don't.
Don't. It's good. It's fine. Just leave it alone.
Have you seen Battle Angel? What's that one?
Oh, Alita Battle Angel? I didn't. The eyes creeped me out.
I personally loved that one.
Yeah. Okay,
wait. We got to get back on track.
Yeah, totally.
What made you want to be a filmmaker?
Yeah, so my dad works on films. He started out in ILM, which is George Lucas's model shop.
ILM?
Yeah, I actually don't.
Industrial Light Magic.
Thank you, Industrial Light Magic. I should have known that.
That's where your dad worked.
Yeah, I know. No, my whole life he's just like ILM, you know.
Okay, so Industrial Light Magic. Your dad. What's your dad's name?
Trevor Tuttle.
Trevor Tuttle.
Yeah, he did. First film he ever worked on, he didn't get a credit, was Mars Attacks.
Okay.
He worked on a little model that they made, which then they used to build the big interior of the flying saucer.
Oh my god.
First film that he got a credit on is Starship Troopers, where he built a lot of the spaceships.
Oh my god.
And like there's one shot where like it's the pilot lady and she's going into the big spaceship and they're flying through the that's like when my dad does his reel, that's the shot that he shows. And also he hid my mom and his Chico State IDs in that spaceship apparently.
Oh my gosh.
That's what he tells
cool.
me. Yeah.
I did not know that, dude.
Yeah.
So you grew up just being around it, and
yeah,
it, like,
I grew up being around
you?
it and just like it kind of was like, and I was super creative growing up, and I was always just thinking of like I was always into pirates and aliens and stuff, and like just all this crazy stuff, and I was always watching a bunch of movies and like, but I honestly had no like direct interest in filmmaking until I got to college. Like in senior year, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it because like I don't want to sell my art. I want to do the art for the fun of it. And then now I got to college and I'm like, why'd I make art for free?
Literally. Dude, that is such a huge talking point for student filmmakers. I meet so many people who are artists. They're in it for the art. And a lot of those people don't really learn about the business side of film. Like, films are literally their own limited liability companies. It's a business.
Yeah.
But if you just want to be an artist, then hire a producer to run the business and you just do the art. Like, you don't need to do that. So I run into this problem a lot of like, I'll ask a student, like, how are you going to make money doing this? They have no idea.
Yeah.
And I'll ask a writer, like, are you down to like be a writer for hire? And they're like, no, I only want to write my own stuff. Or they're like, okay, I have this script. And I'm like, are you going to make it? It would probably cost a lot of money to make it, or you can make it for a low budget. And they're like, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to make it because I don't have the money. I'll wait until later on in my career to make it. Or
No.
I say, would you sell your script to someone who could make it? And they're like, hell no, I'd never sell my script. And I'm like, well, then how are you going to pay your bills? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Where does it become a career for you? And it's because of that art part.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I mean, I was there. Like, you know, it would be amazing if everybody could just make it for the art, but like, let's be for real, you know. Sam Raimi is, I think, one of the best examples of that, because like he made weird, crazy movies like Evil Dead 2 and stuff. But like, you know, he also made Spider-Man. He was very much in tune with like, what do audiences like? What's going to make money? What's like the studio going to be happy with? And how do I also inject my own crazy weird stuff into the movie?
Yes. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so happy that you're thinking about that. Like, not a lot of student filmmakers are in the headspace to consider, like, you need to not just make what you want. You need to make what a studio is willing to pay for, because you're asking them for their money. Yeah. And you're asking for other people's money, and you're responsible for people's jobs so that they can work and go to their families. Yeah. Or just take care of themselves, bro. Or take care of yourself. And so it's like, you got to consider what audiences actually want to pay for. Totally, because the only way you get money is through the studios giving you money in the first place, which you need to prove you have an audience for, or through selling tickets at the box office, which you only get 50% of anyways in distribution.
Yeah, exactly. And like, a lot of people got to see it, you know what I mean? If like,
like Get Out was a really good example of like, where like, Jordan Peele wrote something that his script was like kicking around Hollywood. Like Jason Blum talks about this. He was the producer on it. One of 3, I think. And he talked about how like this script was just hanging around Hollywood. Like no one wanted to make it. And then Jason Blum read it and decided to make it with Jordan Peele. And no one knew that it was going to do as incredibly well as it did. But like it ended up grossing over $900 million at the box office, and they profited $92 million after like their marketing and production expenses, and that's for like a low budget horror film. Like, seriously, you got to think about that stuff. You have to think about distribution when you're making your films.
And especially like finding an audience that will like watch it. I mean,
actually
like,
pay for it.
I mean, like Darren Aronofsky's first film, Pi.
Okay.
He was that was really good, and that was one of the main inspirations for Dark Room, which is like I wrote it, and then I saw Pi, and I was like, I can't believe that I had never seen Pi before I saw Dark Room, because it's about a guy who lives in a room and he's like obsessed with math instead of photography, and it's black and white, and he's just like kind of going crazier as the movie goes on, and like but that movie was funded by Darren Aronofsky and people going to their family, just being like, "Can you throw in $100?" and it was $60,000. Yes. And like, I don't think it made like a bunch of. It might have made a couple million, but like because it was like New York and you know, 90s or whatever. You know, so there's like
it's
a built-in
totally different market.
There's like an art scene there. Yeah.
Like people have the money and are willing to pay for that.
Yeah, exactly. No, but like
but now like we live in 2025.
Yeah. I mean, like Saw is another good example of.
Saw was sick.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a bunch of college students who were going to make it with like $1,000.
Yeah, I mean the what Saw came from is they're like, we want to make a movie, we have no money. What would be good? What if it was about people chained in a room and they're like, why are they chained? And then that's how Saw was born, is that they were like, how do we keep these people in a room? Handcuff them. Spend the whole movie with them being like, I don't want to cut my foot off, which like, you know, that's you and would. Humans would.
Bro, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great example too. I love that you have these like you've grown up in this and you're so into it that you know the stories about like previous films that did well. Yeah. Like Saw was just a couple dudes who were gonna make it with like no money, and then their professor was like, hey, you should like make money. You should actually like try to pitch this. Yeah. And then they pitched it for like a year. They had gotten a ton of rejections and were about to give up. And then someone decided to fund them. And that ended up being Saw, bro. The most like successful horror film.
Yeah, seriously. Ever. I mean, like there's like 8 movies where the killer's dead.
Literally.
Because they killed him in the third one. They're like, that's enough. And then now we're at like, it's always hilarious seeing how they bring him back. It's like, I was working for him all along, and he planned this out, and he gave me an envelope with tapes and stuff in it, and then they played the tape so that they could get Togan Bell back.
Dude, I hope that in 20 years or 30 years, some kids are sitting on a podcast episode talking about us and how we made like some random like
That'd
song.
be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, seriously.
We're here, like right now, we're here in our first few films, really deciding that we want to do this for real, even though it's hard, even though the industry might literally be gone in the next 5 years.
Seriously,
we want this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know about the condition of the industry right now?
Yeah, I mean, my dad talks to me about it. He's like, it's not doing that well. No one can really get jobs.
It's really bad.
You know, it is, yeah. That's why I'm like, anthropology.
Yeah, my backup is finance.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
that's good.
yeah.
Both of us are being very smart about that.
Yeah,
if you're a student filmmaker, have a backup. This industry is fucking crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fire didn't help.
The fires.
Yeah.
It's like really difficult to do business in California because of like how expensive it is here.
Yeah, Georgia and Vancouver.
Georgia and Vancouver, Toronto.
Yeah.
Like people are leaving the US. They are hiring crews in other countries because of how difficult it is. And the unions, like they negotiated and advocated for better pay, but better pay means that the production is going to cost more. Or they're going to have to give up money for the other things the production wanted.
Yeah.
Or they outsource. They go to other countries, which is why so many places are filming in Toronto. Like, that's kind of shooting us in the foot. Like, what we got to, like, compromise somewhere and figure it out. Because I want us to be paid well. We deserve to be treated well. But I don't want to lose the opportunity to live in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
I still want to live in the U.S.
Yeah, I love California. I'm a California boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to chill and, like, be by the beach and be able to visit my family.
Yeah.
If I had to move to Toronto, like, I would. But,
yeah.
like, I want to see my family, bro.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean,
How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel, like, hopeless, or are you still down? Like...
I still am down because I feel like, you know, everyone's always going to be making movies because, like, humans just love making art.
Yeah.
Like, we're so into it, you know? And, you know, I think that, like, it's going to struggle, but I think that, you know, people are still going to be doing their stuff. And I think that learning how to make, like, these kind of guerrilla-style filmmaking stuff is good because, like in the same way that, like, Spotify and stuff kind of disrupted the music industry.
Yes.
I'm kind of seeing like YouTube and online stuff disrupting it where like I think it's honestly going to get more and more independent.
Yes.
Because like we're losing a lot of faith in studios and everyone's kind of like, you know, I mean like it's all just like and like there's no mid-budget movies now. Like it's like, oh, here's a little indie A24 thing for $5 million and then it's here's the Mario movie. It was a $200 million you know, big,
just
like
huge.
There's nothing gargantuan. Like, there's nothing that's like 15 million. It's just like, you know, so like and there's this like idea of like the film pendulum.
Yeah.
Where the industry, where it's like every 10 years or something, it sways where like, you know, like in the 70s, it was really good. And then like the studios kind of picked up with like Jaws and Star Wars and the blockbuster. And then like in the 80s, the movies were, you know, they were good, but like they were just kind of like safe and, you know, just kind of like mass produced. They were kind of like toys and stuff like that. And then you get to the 90s and like everything was really cool. And then it kind of swings. And like I feel like the 2010s were really, really good. And especially 2019 was really good. And I feel like now we're kind of in the slump.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like once this, I don't know, I see getting more independent and I see that. And once it kind of realizes that itself, that's when I think we're going to get a lot of cool stuff and it's going to swing back.
I think, okay. I love that. I'm glad that you're so hopeful about it. I constantly see the news about like the negative stuff. Yeah. So like just reminding myself that I'm here right now and things are going to sway no matter what. Like helps me to feel good about going into this industry as a career. Yeah,
and like I watch a YouTube channel called Red Letter Media. They're really great, but they're like classic YouTube movie people. But like sometimes I'll go back and like watch them talking about movies coming out in 2013 and they're like movie theaters suck and movies are terrible and I'm like, oh, it's always happening. Like, I think because we, like, look back on the 70s and we only remember the movies that we love, we're like, the 70s was 100% amazing movies. And it's like, no. So I think there's always weird schlock permeating the majority of movies, but I think that there's always good movies coming out, you know? Like, even though I'm like, 2019 was, like, that. Like, The Zone of Interest was a really amazing movie that came out, I think, 2 years ago. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, Triangle of Sadness. Like there's good movies that are coming out now. It's just that they're, like, hard to... Anora was good.
Anora was so good. Yeah. I freaking loved Anora.
Yeah.
It's such a unique character and perspective on something that has so much stigmatism. Thank you for saying that. Like, for hearing your perspective on the industry really is helpful to me. I think, like, humans in general struggle with... Actually, I'll just talk about myself because I don't know about humans. You're an anthropology major. You study humans. Yeah. I just get stuck on, like, the negative sometimes. Most of the times I'm a really positive person, but sometimes I'm like, damn, bro, this sucks. And hearing you talk about, like, the fact that just, like, zoom out. Zoom out, bro. It helps me to remind myself, like, it'll be okay. Everything's going to be fine. This is what happens with any industry. And
also, like, bad times create the best art. Because, like, you know, I mean, like, art comes from emotions. If you get people all riled up and stuff.
Get them upset.
Like in the 70s, there's so many good horror movies because everyone's like, Vietnam and the nuke. You know, and especially in the 80s, like, everyone's just like, that nuke could just wipe us out. And then, like, Godzilla's born. You know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Dang. So, like, I think that, you know, it's a turbulent time, but I think it's going to be good for art.
It'll be okay, guys.
Yeah, it's going to create unique emotions within people that they're going to be like, I got to express this.
I got to do it.
Yeah.
And then something crazy is going to come out. I hope we're the ones to make the next crazy thing.
I hope so, too. I want to make something weird.
Yeah. I just got to learn how to get us movie for our films. Like, that's the next step for me as a producer is, like, how do I secure financing so that people can actually, my directors who just want to be artists, can actually make what they want to make?
Yeah.
Like, once I see a script and I believe in it, I'm willing to advocate for that script. I'm willing to put money on the line for that script.
Yeah.
For instance, did you know that Jason Blum funded Whiplash with one other person?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Jason Blum's method of producing like 5,000 movies a year for a couple, and then you get like one Paranormal Activity out of it. Yeah, exactly.
Like, he explains it. I've seen a lot of interviews with Jason Blum. I would love to have Jason Blum on the Student Filmmaker Podcast.
That'd be dope, yeah.
Gosh, that would be incredible because he is such an honest person in the way that he discusses the industry. And he's always explained that he's like on the periphery of Hollywood. Like, he doesn't do the same things that everyone does. Like, a lot of the traditional pathway is like you grow with your budget, and he's decided like, no, I kind of want to stay small. Like, I want to do low budget stuff because there's so much extra money to actually pay people if it goes well. But if it doesn't go well, no one loses anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like The Fall Guy. Did you know The Fall Guy didn't actually like perform well? Like, it didn't like make back.
I mean, I didn't see it, so I contributed to that.
I personally liked The Fall Guy.
Yeah.
I expected it to do well, but it didn't. I was surprised that it did not do well.
Yeah.
Is there any actors that you would want to work with? I want to work with Ryan Gosling.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't know. To me, the best actor, it's sad that he's dead, but Philip Seymour Hoffman, I'm a huge fan of him, dude. I love him, dude. He did this movie Happiness, which is insane.
Oh, was Happiness the one with the weird, like, unicorn creature? No, that's called
Happiness is, it's very disturbing.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, is Happiness the one where, like, the zombie people in...
No, it's, so it's about... in the most PG way possible. It's about these three sisters and the very weird people that they interact with, but it deals with like taboo stuff.
Okay.
But it's like terrible, horrible stuff happening, but there's no like violence or like gore or anything. Okay. It's all implied.
Oh.
But it's all like, but everyone looks like Barbie dolls like in this house. Like, it's all oversaturated. It's really amazing, but Philip Seymour Hoffman plays a very, he really likes his female neighbor too much, you know, and he's like, I'm gonna tell her, you know, and then he's in an elevator with her and he just doesn't say anything, but the whole time you're like, oh, is he gonna, you know, so the whole movie's just like really cringy like that.
Okay.
But he's amazing in that. If you have a good stomach, I would watch I would watch Happiness. You're going to cringe really hard.
So Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah, he is.
Who would you want to work with? That is a lie.
Oh my God. Dude, I don't know. Like, oh my God. I can only think of being John Malkovich right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, John Malkovich is
the
funny.
Monkey.
Yeah, the monkey Elijah would be cool.
Gotta work with Elijah.
I feel like Elijah Wood be cool. Oh my God, I can't think of any. Oh, Willem Dafoe, obviously.
Oh, yes.
I'm a huge Willem Dafoe fan.
Me too. Oh my gosh. This brings me, now that we're talking about actors, dude, I've seen the way that you interact with actors on set, just so you know, like, hell yes, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
No, like, you're one of the only student filmmaking directors that I have met that really focuses on working with your actors, which is so important.
It is
so important. And student filmmakers often make the mistake of just working with their crew. Like, their crew gets 95% of their attention, and then the freaking actors and their performances only get 5% of their attention.
No, seriously.
What the heck? Like, if you're a student filmmaker who is a director, work with your actors. Work with your actors.
It's very
Don't
important.
work with your crew. Like, let your assistant director work on your crew. You need to work on performances.
Yeah, seriously. Like, because with the crew stuff, it's technical. And, like, you know.
It's not the vision.
Yeah, no, but the actors are the ones who are going to be, like, doing it.
Uh-huh.
And if they're confused, then you're not going to get your shot.
Yes.
And then everyone has set up all this technical stuff, and then you're just waiting on this one shot. It's very important to, like, I mean, it's really trippy too, because you know, they obviously give their own input. Like, you're hiring them as like you are going to be this person, and like they have like half of a say of like how this character comes to life. You know, like you obviously lay down like the groundwork and all that stuff, but then they have to like conjure it into real life.
Yeah,
and like. The balance, you know, and like it's very important not to get in their head. And like I'm still even working on this, but like, you know, just saying stuff like, "Can you be more sad?" It's like, what does that mean? What is more sad?
Yeah,
you know. So finding specific stuff where like for Slasher Pro, for instance, like we were in the hardware store and like this is a note that I think about where I'm like, I gotta think of more notes like this to give actors where like I wanted it to be really awkward, you know, the interaction between the hardware store guy and the killer.
Who's wearing a skin face.
Yeah, he's wearing a human face in the store. And
Check out Slasher Pro.
Yeah, and he's getting chainsaws. Yeah, exactly, in the link below. But I was like, Trevor, who's playing the... Trevor Adams, what's up, dude?
Love you.
But he was playing the hardware store guy, and I was like, Trevor, can you do the scene like you don't want anyone else in the store to hear it?
Dude,
and then all of a sudden he's like way more quiet, and he's kind of like, you know, looking over his shoulder and stuff. So it's stuff like that. Like, you kind of want to give them something to do. You know, that
something to do.
Yeah.
Like a verb. Like, oh, thank you. See, this is why you're such a good director. The fact that you're starting this way, you're blushing. The fact that you started here is so impressive.
Yeah.
You have so much natural propensity to be a director, working with your actors and performers, that like this is just a really good opportunity for you. And I want to see how you grow, and I want to see you make the next big thing.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, just so you know, like I try to like let people know, because when you're in the moment, you don't really, a lot of times you can't really tell. But as an outsider, the perspective is incredible. Like, you're doing a good job working with your actors.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Aww.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always working on it, you know, like I still am definitely like, yeah, you know, sometimes I'm like, can you be more angry? And it's like, what does that mean? You know, like, again, like the little thing to do, that's what they can like lock in on, you know, where like, you know, for that, he's like, okay, I can't let anyone else hear this, you know? So, yeah.
One thing I really want to see more of is I want to see more directors like in our student film community and just student filmmakers in general, is like, give your actors something to do. Like, let them show off their skills, because students are at this point in their life, like student actors are at this point in their life and their careers where they haven't gotten a chance to prove themselves. Yeah. And they want to, and they're willing to go and put in that effort to do it.
Yeah. I'm always trying to write stuff that would be fun for actors to do, because what's fun for actors would be fun for like an audience to do. Like, you know, like if the scene's good, it's like, oh, they want this and this is stopping them. Like to have okay, you want this and stop them and kind of like have a bit of freedom where like it becomes kind of a game between the two actors where it's like your goal is to stop them and your goal is to get past them. And just seeing how they interact with each other, like maybe like something new kind of comes out with it, but like, yeah, give them like kind of gamify it in a way.
Ooh,
where it's like, you know, like, yeah, they got to do something to do, because if it's like read this monologue and at the start you're happy, then you're sad, it's like, what makes me, you know, sad or whatever, you know? So like, be very specific, but like, they're also there to put their own spin on it. So, you know, you should give them freedom, you know, to like play and all that stuff. And
that's such an interesting dynamic to like be the writer and the director.
Yeah.
Like, and then see your actors take on the character that you have built from scratch in your head. Yeah. That's so cool. What was it like seeing it come to life? Like in John Crossway.
Yeah. John is great.
He's incredible.
Yeah, I met him I was in an intro to acting class and he was my teacher, and I was like, yo, I'm making movies, and he's like, do you need help? And I'm like, actually, yeah.
I actually need
exactly and like I casted him twice as serial killers, and I'm like, I'm really sorry for typecasting you.
Did.
And he's like, I've been serial killers and on children's shows, and I'm like, okay. So that's his type. And thankfully with the couch, you know, I mean, I don't want to say it. Yeah. He might be in it. He hasn't confirmed yet, but he won't be a serial killer.
Yay, no more typecast.
Yeah, I know,
John
right?
gets to go out and try
and that's something that I'm like in the future, I'm like, I want to give him something else.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that way with my actors. Every time like we're on a set and something goes wrong, I'm like, Like, actors often get the shorter end of the stick when it's student film stuff. Yeah. And I always empathize with that. That's why I want to be an actor's assistant. Yeah. So that I can learn more about what they need. Yeah. Because they deserve more attention than they get on student film sets, and I know that.
Yeah. And, like, with Krug, I'm really happy I did Krug.
Oh my gosh, because, Krug was so sick. Dude, Krug is the most iconic movie. Dude, everyone talks to me about Krug. I
literally walk out of the library and I'm like, and he's like, I got you. I'm like, thanks for holding the door open. And he's like, Krug?
Krug.
That literally happened a couple days ago. And then all their friends are like, what are you talking about?
I think that was I think a person told me that story. I think that was one of my friends. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I remember, like, you were walking out.
I'm walking out of the library, held my door open, and I'm like, thanks, bro. And he's like, Krug?
Someone literally just told me about this. That is so freaking funny.
Yeah, like I was buying pencils at the the Student Wildcat store just before school started, and like
I need pencils.
Yeah, and this girl came up and was like, "Are you Krug?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I say hi at AEPI. I don't know if you hear me." I'm like, "I'm gonna be real. Like a lot of people do." Aww. You know, like every time I go to AEPI, I feel like Brad Pitt.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, because everyone's like, "Oh, Krug."
Yeah, especially it's just you're so easy to interact with, and the character is also incredibly easy to interact with. Yeah, like you're a caveman who is in the wrong time period, and everyone wants to like help you.
I put a lot of research into that role. Actually, it was my first like role. I watched this documentary about Otzi the Iceman, who's a caveman who got frozen in a glacier in Switzerland.
You researched for your role as a caveman?
Yeah, well,
that's incredible.
Well, he was frozen so well that his tattoos were still intact, and they could see what the last thing he ate, and like they like forensically put together his last 48 hours. So I was like, this is my life. Just watching the documentary, being like, you know, like it's like, oh, if they got hit with something, then they would like tattoo as like a healing mark, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I don't have any tattoos on me, but like that's what would happen, you know. Yeah. And I would like look at my cousin. Shout out Finn Tuttle.
Dude, Finn Tuttle.
Yeah, Finn Tuttle.
Our art department director.
Yeah, exactly.
How old is Finn?
He's like 13 now.
Finn is 13 now. Thank you, Finn.
Dude, thank you, Finn. He went to this like summer camp outdoorsy school type thing. Yeah, where he's always like I come over and he's like pounding a rock with a little rock, making like a mortar and pestle. Yes. I'm like, what you doing? He's like, just doing this, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Can I use it?
Yeah, seriously. No, but I was hanging out at it's my aunt's house in Chico, and she was like, oh, check out the thing that you just made, show it to Woody. And it was this like stone axe made out of deer leather that he like treated himself. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally about to shoot a movie where I'm a caveman. This is kind of perfect. And could I borrow it? And he was like, yeah, totally. And like, I was very adamant to like take care of it, but I would just hold it in my room and just be like, this is my Ferrari. This is the peak of technology. This is my prized. This is it. Like I'm baller for having this stone axe.
I am the best caveman.
Yeah, exactly. So
this is it.
That was my research for Krug. Like I was just thinking about it and just like, you know, just like thinking about running up to a big woolly mammoth. I'm like, that's got to be crazy.
Okay, so we've talked about this. This has come up a little bit. You are an anthropology major.
Yeah.
How did you phrase it? You said the anthropology department is the secret.
Yeah, it's the secretly funded film program because there's the advanced visual anthropology lab taught by Brian Brazil, who I'm obsessed with. I'm a huge fan of Brian Brazil.
Tell them about Brian.
Yeah, so he taught magic, witchcraft, and he teaches magic, witchcraft, and religion at Chico State. And if you need your global cultures GE, you should do that with Brian Brazil because he's just like. He makes documentaries about the stuff that he studies, and he studies this religion called Candomblé, which was brought over from Africa through the slaves. And because of the Christian kind of oppressors, they had to integrate Catholicism into their religion. So the gods have like Christian saints that are equivalent to them. And there's just stuff where this is a documentary that he made called The Cross and the Crossroads. You should track it down and you should watch it if you want to see really insane, cool stuff.
Okay.
Where like in this religion, there's two types of people. There's those who play the drums and those who don't. And if you don't play the drums, then you get possessed by a god.
Whoa.
And if you do play the drums, then while they get possessed, you're like, you know,
you're chilling.
Yeah, you're chilling. You're playing the drums.
You're vibing.
But like, you have to live in a house for like a year, and you can't see anybody. You have to wear all white. You have to like bathe in a river at like 5:30 so that no one sees you. And
oh my gosh.
You don't pick the god that possesses you. It's assigned to you. And like everyone will like gather around and like start playing the drums. And then you're like,
whoa.
And then you're like, you guys aren't planting the fields right. Like, you know, the god is like in your body. They call you a horse because he rides you like a horse spiritually.
Oh,
and stuff like that. But it's in Portuguese. But he's like in the documentary, there's a part where there's a guy, this is a Brazilian guy, and his daughter, she's like a teenager. Mm-hmm. Her boyfriend got her pregnant.
Oh.
And the boyfriend's in his house, and this guy is a practitioner of Eshu. And at Eshu's shrines, you leave like cigars and whiskey, and his Christian equivalent is the devil.
Oh.
So this guy's possessed by the devil. And he's like pounding liquor, and like I like it's in Portuguese, but he's singing a song where the lyrics are literally like, "I'll kill that boy, oh, I'll drag him in the road and kill that boy." Like he's and this kid's just sitting there like, well, his girlfriend's dad, who's currently possessed by the devil and like really drunk, is like talking about how he wants to kill him.
Oh my god!
And then like there's a little baby, and he gives a shot to the baby, and it's like coughing, and then just this white hand comes in with a glass of water, and he pauses it, and he goes, "That's my hand." And I'm like, wait, oh my god, you were there in that room. Like that's an experience that you had. You saw this guy possessed by the devil running around. You know, so that's why I'm like, that's why Brian Brazil is the best, is because you watch the documentary and then all of a sudden he just pops up in the background and you're like,
bro,
dude, you're there. But
breaking the fourth wall.
But yeah, so he's in the anthropology and film, and there's the advanced visual anthropology lab, which makes documentaries. And you know, I always hear from the film program people that it's like really hard.
No funding.
It's really hard to get equipment.
Yep.
You know, and the visual anthropology lab. Like I had a culture anthropology teacher, William Nitsky. Shout out to William Nitsky as well. But he just had a red camera in the room, and he's like, "Hey guys, does anyone know what a red camera is?" And I'm like, you know, and he's like, "Does anyone know about post production?" And I'm like, you know, I'm like the only film guy in there, so I'm like, "Yeah, I know all this stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, this is just one of the stuff that we have in the advanced visual anthropology lab. They like get money to go to China from the government."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Studying anthropology. There's a lot of funding for that.
Yeah, William Nitsky did a movie called Bang the Drum.
Cool.
About the white trouser Yao people.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
in China.
So you're an anthropology major, but you want to be in film.
Yes.
What is the role that you want to be in film?
Well, I really like writing and directing, and like where I think anthropology like fits in with film is like you know, I think the most like stereotypical anthropology job is like sending a white dude to like the Amazon to live with a tribe for 4 years, and then like he then writes a book about it after being like, this is everything that I saw. These are all the quaint rituals. That's like the old British guy.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously we've evolved from that, and a lot of anthropology classes are like, yes, we are the guys who said that different races have different skulls. We admit that. We're past it. We're now focused on making people's lives better. And now like there's anthropologists in HR departments like analyzing like offices and seeing where flaws are and trying to figure it out and stuff like that. Like but anthropology is like studying like groups of people, figuring out what the kind of like what's going on, like systems of like oppression and systems of like good and culture and like what is happening, like why is this happening, what's causing that. And you know, with the like I go into the Amazon doing an ethnography, like they go somewhere that people have no connection to.
Okay.
They do a bunch of research, they compile it into a book, and then they present it to everybody, and people can read it and go, oh, that's interesting. I'm peeking into this thing that I would have no idea about and I have no connection to. This is so kind of like not my life, and that's what's so cool about it. Like that's what I kind of want to do with films, where like I want to like take like weird aspects of like human behavior and like or stories about people and like compile them into a screenplay and then film it, and then like, you know, I think that truth is really important to have in film, like, you know, not even like talking about like representing other groups of people, but just like you should, like the way that they should interact should be like true humanity. Like that's what I would do, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to use your anthropology background in your...
I mean, like, the anthropology is literally the study of humans, and I'm like, humans are going to be in all my movies.
They will be.
So I'm studying I'm studying the main agents.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you're getting ready. You're doing your research.
Yeah, exactly. I recommend a lot of people do psychology and stuff like that, you know, or just like look into psychology and Jung and just like weird stuff, because that'll really help you, you know, get to your characters and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. How many things have you actually written?
So I've written 3 scripts: Darkroom, Slasher Pro, and Brew. And
only 3 though?
Yeah, only 3.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
your scripts are pretty good for only having written 3.
Thank you. I mean, like, I mean, I've started a bunch of other stuff, but I haven't like finished them. Like that's the problem, is that my dad always says I like to have written. You know, and I'm like, I agree. I don't like writing, but I love to have written things.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the industry in 5 years?
I mean, I know that
5 years from now.
Yeah.
It'll be 2030. What's going on?
Like writer screenplay or writer director is you know, I mean, everyone really wants to do that.
Absolutely.
That would be cool. But I always like to draw growing up. I could see myself doing storyboards if AI doesn't just replace that, you know?
I know, dude, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember storyboard artists getting paid really good when, like in 2019, my dad was talking to me about that. I could see myself doing commercials. I think commercials would be really cool, just because it's a lot of exercise filmmaking wise, where you can just bang out a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
So 5 years, you're gonna be on a bunch of different things. But if you were a director and writer, what would the comparison film be for what you wish you would have in 5 years directed or written?
I mean, really, the types of movies I really want to make are the movies like Being John Malkovich, where like it's so intelligent, but it's so weird and funny, but not like Seth Rogen. This is a joke happening to the camera right now, but like this is weird and absurd, and I don't know how to react except just to laugh at it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really into that.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Which film that you've directed has been your favorite film?
I think, because I feel like Darkroom is like kind of leagues above Slasher Pro and Brew.
Really?
Just because of the scale of it. Like Slasher Pro and Brew both were shot in 2 days and had like about a week pre-production, and like, it's taking a second just with, post-production, but with Darkroom, I think Darkroom would be my favorite.
Okay.
Because it's so big, and honestly, like every time I watch it with Keaton, I'm always like, how did we get so much like movie? Like, it's almost 30 minutes and that's crazy. We cut a good majority of it out just because it wasn't flowing, and it made the movie flow better. And like, even still, we cut out a big chunk and it's like 30 minutes long. It's like, how did we film so much? So I'm really just like, really, Darkroom shouldn't have happened, but somehow the stars aligned and it worked out and it's happening. And I'm like, no way. So I think Darkroom is my favorite.
Yay. That's awesome, Woody.
Yeah.
I was wondering, could you please leave a message for yourself in 5 years? Do you have anything you would want to say to your 5-year self? You can take a minute to think about it.
Yeah. What's up, bro? I hope that you're doing well. I know that we're thinking about, just with film industry and stuff, it might be cool to make a bunch of documentaries for a museum, anthropology wise or something like that. That'd be cool. But like, oh my God, yeah, I don't know.
You're good.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
Yeah, no, it really is. But I hope that the dude saying this right now is setting up all the good stuff, and I hope that, there's more good films after this. I hope that you look back on me right now. This is really trippy. But I hope that you're looking back on me right now and being like, that was a dope moment of my life that led to an even doper moment or era of my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what I would say.
Aw, I'm gonna make the next Being John Malkovich.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, it was really nice having you.
It was great to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Woody Tuttle, and I'm a student filmmaker.